While swimming, the two sisters unexpectedly discovered something unsettling. At the bottom of the pool, there was a diamond ring. Seeing that no one around had noticed it, Emma immediately dived in. She fixed her eyes on the ring and descended to retrieve it. However, the ring was stuck in the drainage grate. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't pull it free. Seeing that her sister was taking too long to resurface, Sophie quickly removed her clothes and jumped in to help. But the ring was wedged far too tightly. Despite their combined efforts, they could not move it, even though it was right in front of them. While pulling together, something went wrong. Their hair became tangled in the drain. Emma panicked instantly and grabbed Sophie's hair to pull her free, but she still couldn't untangle her. The current had already trapped their hair. At the same time, the pool's closing time had arrived. The attendant was about to leave when he glanced at the water and pressed the closing button. The pool cover began to slide shut slowly. The two sisters continued struggling in the water. Seeing the cover closing in, Emma realized something was wrong, but Sophie was still trapped underwater. She gathered all her strength and finally managed to free her sister. By then, the cover was almost completely shut. They swam desperately towards the surface, but it was already too late. When they finally emerged, they realized the severity of the situation. On arrival, the attendant had told them the pool was closed at weekends, and that day was Friday. That meant they were likely to be trapped there for 3 days. Realizing this, they began banging on the cover for help, but no matter how hard they shouted, no one responded above them. After a long time of no response, the sisters were close to breaking down, yet Emma remained calm. She decided they needed clues and might still find a way out, urging Sophie not to give up. Soon after, Sophie found a piece of clothing in the corner. Emma, meanwhile, discovered a plastic board nearby. Sophie then spotted a ventilation opening. After inspecting it, Emma believed it could be an exit. It might offer a way out. However, after several attempts, they failed again. They would need another solution. Emma remembered the plastic board and immediately retrieved it. She tried to widen the opening using its edges, but after half an hour, the gap remained unchanged. Sophie had already lost hope and told her to stop wasting her energy. Just as they felt completely stuck, a noise suddenly came from above the pool. It was Emma's fiancé, James, who had tried calling her after noticing she hadn't returned home, but the phone had been left outside the pool area. It kept ringing, unanswered. Thinking of her upcoming wedding, Emma dove back into the water. After great effort, she finally retrieved the ring. She then tried to remove the drainage grate. Perhaps she could use it to break the pool cover, but the screws were tightly fixed and impossible to remove. After several failed attempts, she resurfaced again. By then, night had fallen and the water temperature continued to drop. Emma began showing signs of distress. After repeated questioning from her sister, she finally revealed the truth. She had been suffering from diabetes for a long time. To avoid worrying her family, she had kept it secret, but her insulin was in her bag outside, making the situation extremely dangerous. Sophie tried again with the plastic board, but it still didn't work. Just as Emma was about to collapse, a sound came from the pool area. A cleaner named Karen was still working inside the building. She noticed the 2 bags left outside. The sisters thought help had finally arrived, but Karen looked at the security cameras, then entered the control room and disabled all surveillance. After erasing any evidence, she demanded their phone passcode, claiming it was the only way to call the police. The sisters naively believed she was there to help. They asked her to retrieve the phone and even promised her a reward once they got out. But Karen revealed a strange smile. She had recently been released from prison and desperately needed money, so she was not going to miss this opportunity. She threatened them to hand over their bank card pins, or she would refuse to help. But the sisters had fallen into this situation because of the ring and refused to comply. After failing to convince them, Karen decided to teach them a lesson. She turned off the pool lights and shut down the heating system. The temperature dropped rapidly. If they stayed any longer, survival was unlikely. In freezing conditions and rising desperation, Emma finally gave up her bank card pin.